Anna Peltier is back for business.
Hello.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
So we've had announcements on the the US Federal Reserve on the interest rates there, and it's timed with the old cash rate announcement here.
Yes, indeed. So both central banks had something to say this morning about interest rates. In the United States, it was a different story than it was in New Zealand. In the United States, the economy is fairly strong, the labor market is strong, and the U.S. Federal Reserve raised interest rates, which was expected. And they're expecting to continue to raise interest rates. So they moved 0.25% up to 2.25. Now, people might remember that's 2.25% that they moved to from 2%. And people might remember that the U.S. Federal Reserve held interest rates low for many, many years, and it started moving. Yes, right? That's right. Started moving them in 2015, and so in the 7 of the last 8 quarters, we've seen a rise, and we're expecting another rise in December, 3 more next year, and another one in 2020. So they're expecting their economy to remain strong for the next 3 years. Now, that's in contrast to what we saw from our Reserve Bank today. Now, keep in mind, it wasn't a full monetary policy statement. It was just a simple update, their review of the OCR, and in that case, the governor, Adrian Orr, said that while the GDP growth was stronger in June, there's uncertainties around the strength of the economy, given some of the negative sentiment we've seen. So we're leaving our interest rates on hold for now and possibly right into 2020, and that's at 1.75%.
So they're not just holding off until the third quarter announcement. That you reckon this will stay flat until next year?
Well, and at that stage, it could be one way or another. It could be up or down, depending on how things go. There's a lot of risk in the world, but these risks seem to have been dismissed by the U.S. Federal Reserve that aren't too concerned about trade within the United States. That's an enormous economy, and we've heard other commentators say that the trade war is really going to hurt other nations more than it will hurt the U.S. and China. So in this case, we're going to see things change. And of course, that was priced into the currency markets. And so in that case, our currency barely moved. We were at 66.5 U.S. cents, 91.7 Australian, and 50.6 pence.
Wow. Now, Cavalier, this is the wool scouring business.
Yes.
Our last New Zealand-owned one.
That's right.
And it's gone. It's sold.
It's going to, well, it's not yet. So they're negotiating, but it's looking like it's going to sell. They're expecting to get, what did I say here, $13.5 million in cash for that business. It's the last one in New Zealand, but it's because we have a lot less sheep than we used to have. Back in the 80s, we had something like 75 million sheep. Now we have about 25 million sheep, so not as much need for scouring businesses. Now, Cavalier is going to have a long-term contract with the new buyer, whom they've not disclosed, and so they'll continue to have access to wool products that make their carpets. That's going to be the business they focus on. Right. Now, however, the market wasn't too happy with that, and Cavalier's share price fell nearly 8% today. That was 5 cents down to 61 cents. But overall, the market was down in any case. We fell more than 2/3%. That was 63 points down. And we were dragged down to some extent by A2 Milk. It was down 2.5%. It's New Zealand's largest public company. And so we were finished there at 9,286 on the NZX Top 50 Index.
Anything else in the markets happening today?
Well, I don't know. Why we need to talk some more? Do you think we should chat about business? I can talk all afternoon if you like.
I know, that's one thing for sure. We'll let you save up any other market updates for tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be in and have the very latest for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Nona Peltier there with the business update.